Okay, we're gonna try this again. Our connection kept going out and I'm not sure why. So we'll just try this. I don't know if anybody's gonna be able to join in live, but if not, we'll repost it afterwards and you'll be able to watch it. So quick update for today. So my family is good. They're continuing to help refugees. They've got a house full, people in and out all the time. They're working tirelessly. Pray for their energy levels. If you want to donate to help my parents and my sister with helping refugees who are coming through Western Ukraine, you can go to, can you look up Modern Day's website? I believe it's modernday.org, Modern Day Missions. Okay, yeah, modernday.org. And you can search for a specific missionary on their website. Search for Mark and Rhonda Blessing. Those are my parents, and you can donate to their ministry that way. I spoke to my friend who is in a town close to Mariupol. If you've been watching the news, Mariupol is horrible right now. Today, the Russians specifically targeted and bombed a children's hospital / maternity hospital. I don't know what kind of demon you have to be to do something like that. So that area of the country is literally living in hell. I think that's a fair description. So my friend and her family, she has two very small boys and her husband, and they are living in that area of the country, and it's extremely difficult. They can't get out because, as you're also probably seeing on the news, the Russian forces are literally preventing people, civilians, children, from evacuating. So my friend and her husband are just stuck living in this hellish war zone with their two small children, and they're unable to get out because people who are trying to evacuate are being executed in the streets. So it's extremely difficult for them. They're not able to work because obviously the Russian forces have taken over everything. So they have no jobs, they have no income. However, prices on the limited amounts of items that are in the stores are shooting up. So, we were talking today, and obviously it's very hard for people to ask for help and ask for money. So a lot of times when I chat with my friends, I just straight up ask them, how is your money? How are your finances? Do you need anything? And so I asked her, and she said, yeah, we're not able to work and prices are skyrocketing. So if you have anything that you can send us, that would be great. And of course, thanks to y'all, we do. So I was able to send her $1,000 today that she will split up between their family and other friends' families of theirs, also with small children who are living in that area. So just to let you know, that's one avenue that we're using the donations that you're sending to help these families who cannot get out of really bad occupied areas.
Some very cool news that I was able to receive earlier this morning. I have a friend named Igor who's in Philadelphia who is amazing, and I'll have to tell him that I am complimenting him when I send him this video. But he has helped us connect with some other pastors, and the reason why we trust him is because he's done similar work to Bria on the front lines with a variety of military chaplains and pastors and that kind of thing. He's been there and done it. He's an amazing guy. And so he's like, hey, Jess, here's another gentleman that comes from the Mariupol Melitopol area. And this guy, I wish I could share video pictures with you, but I can only describe it because his face and people that that are in his community are in these videos. So basically what he is doing is he is gathering women and children in his vehicle that he's able to, and he is going out of the occupied territory that he is in. He is bribing the Russian guards with cigarettes and or food or chocolate or whatever, and he is going to a safe space, which I don't even know what is a safe space, but he is then dropping off women and children, and he is finding a place in a village that's further away, and he's buying medicine and more cigarettes and chocolate, and then he heads back in towards his home, and he then again bribes the Russian guards who have told him, and he told me this, he says, they say, we're human too. And so he gives them whatever he has, and he brings the medicine and brings food back into his area, his town, and then he's able to go and minister to people in his village, in his town. I'm not even sure what kind of area he lives in, but it is fairly populous. But he's also got about 20 or 30 people, and he showed me a video of them all congregated in his house, in his kitchen, in the dining room area, in the living room area, and they all stay there because he has a wood-burning stove. And so he is...
Because nobody has heat or electricity now.
Yeah, the natural gas has been turned off. And he actually did, in one video, he had electricity. So it's insane. Sometimes we're able to get money through, sometimes we're not. Sometimes they have electricity, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have internet, sometimes they don't. I don't know how all of that vacillates. It's deeply frustrating, but at least they have some sometimes. But he does have a wood-burning stove and is able to get heat into his house for a certain number of people, and they are praying together, and they are reading the Bible together, they're singing together, which is amazing. I don't want to be too verbose, but then there's another gentleman who lives closer to the Odessa region, and he is able, with funds that you guys have provided, to also buy a starter to get his van up and running. He has another van, and he is moving people from his area of Odessa, or close to Odessa, over the Moldovan border. So, yeah, I think that I said, did I talk about the...
We heard from our pastor friend who joined up with the military, who's now fighting, and we aren't able to get a lot from him. One, I'm sure he can't share a lot of information, and two, he doesn't have connectivity most of the time. So when he does, he usually just gets on for a second and can either just like a post so that we know he's alive, or he can send us a quick picture or something. So we did hear from him today, and he just said, I'm okay, everything's fine. So we were super glad to hear from him and to know that he's alive and he's okay. Continue to pray for him. We heard from our other pastor friend, who is ministering to the civilian population around him. He's also where a lot of your donations go, because he's basically become the source of food, as well as spiritual support, but also just practical food supply for hundreds of the civilians, excuse me, in his town. So we sent him $3,000 yesterday of your donations, and then, like I said, $1,000 to my friends today who are in occupied territory and unable to get out. We've sent $1,000 to this other pastor who's going in and out of occupied territory, evacuating people and bribing Russian forces. So the money, the donations that y'all are sending in are being put to very good use. there's just, yeah, there's no end to the needs in Ukraine. I thought there was one more thing that I was going to tell y'all, but I can't remember. The Lord gave me a cool opportunity this morning. There is actually a Christian radio station that's still working in Kiev, the capital city. And despite shelling and shooting and death, they're still there. They're working out of the basement of a church. Нічого, потім ми зробимо відео українською. So this Christian radio is working out of the basement of a church, and they had asked if I would be willing to talk to them on air, and so I was able to do that this morning. And the interview itself was pretty short. They just asked me kind of what Americans know about the current situation, what Americans think about it, what kind of the climate in America is concerning the situation in Ukraine, and asked me just to encourage the Ukrainian listeners and pray for them. But then afterwards, this young woman who was interviewing me, who's in Kiev, where it's, very scary and there's a lot of death happening and bombing, she and I probably stayed on the line together for, I don't know, maybe an hour, just talking and just encouraging her, and it was just really special to get to just talk to her. I don't know her, but she's a sister in Christ, and she's staying where she is for the time being in Kiev and doing her work and her ministry on this Christian radio to make sure that the word of Christ goes out into the darkness in Ukraine and people are encouraged and feel the hope that there is in Jesus. So I'm just constantly amazed by the people I know and the people I don't know in Ukraine who are, some are fighting, trying to guard their borders. Others are serving, taking food and needed supplies to people. Some are evacuating women and children. Some are on the radio encouraging. So it's a beautiful thing. I think all of us, no matter where we are in the world or who we are, we can learn so much from the Ukrainian people right now and be inspired by them. So
there's so much difficulty. It is amazing to see the pinpricks of light that shine, and when you light a match in a super dark room, it burns that much brighter. And so our work to be able to send funds and be able to tell you guys about what's happening, that is a huge torch in the lives of our people. And I know you guys, I would love to be able to show you videos. It's so hard for me to say this gentleman is from this place because it's hard to create an emotional connection. If I see any of you guys at any point, maybe we could do it personally, but if it's for their safety. But thank you for trusting Bria and I. Thank you for praying. Thank you for being a light, a torch in very dark places, for astoundingly courageous people, but those that are in desperate need. And we are so grateful. We know that gas prices are above $4. We know that clothes and feeding your families is expensive. We're here in Buffalo, but people are everywhere that are watching this. It's a sacrifice, and so for you to give, it's out of a lesser pot than 6 months ago. For you to be willing to sacrifice that is amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, we can't even express the gratitude of our Ukrainian friends. when we send them funds. They're just, I can't even imagine the fear and the just horribleness of the day in and day out survival mode that they're in. So when we're able to send them money and tell them this is from people you don't even know, but they're sending this for you because they care and they want to help, their gratitude is just overwhelming. So thank y'all
you.
very much. If you want to continue to give,
I'm like crying here. Sorry.
check out my social media pages. I have put information up there for how you can give. If you want to give through Jess and me, you can do Venmo or PayPal. Venmo is at
Jesse Poley.
JESSEPOHLE. PayPal is at JELHOP. Or for other ways to support Ukraine right now, go to my social media pages, Bria Blessing, and I've put up some ways, easy ways that anyone can help. Thanks again for caring and for tuning in and watching, and for praying for our people and praying for Ukraine, and continue to pray for peace and security for Ukraine's borders.
Thank you, guys.